Hi, how's it going? This is Resin of Collingwood for YouTube, and I'm here to do a review of a Halloween fan film called The Haddonfield Nightmare. Believe this was written and directed by Brandon Timmons. Now, this fan film is supposed to be a sequel to Halloween H2O, which was set in 1998 and shot, well, 1998. And if you've been living under a rock and you don't know what Halloween H2O is, Halloween H2O is a direct sequel to the first two Halloween movies. It does not tie in 4, 5, and 6, even though in the credits it shows the scissors at Gilbridge. Now to get to the Haddonfield Nightmare. This movie starts off in the dead of night where you see a car driving, and there's these two cops, and the guy, driving a car. Now we're ending this. Pulls somebody out the back seat for whatever reason has a hood over their head, and you're supposed to believe this is Michael Myers. They get down on their knees because they get him down on his knees and say, "Well, he'll just escape again and kill." About it, he killed my sister, married to Chambers, and I'm thinking, wait a second. This is one of the issues I have with this movie: continuity. Um, Okay, if this is a sequel to H2O, why is Michael just now killing Marion Chambers? This supposedly took place after the events of H2O, so when was Michael apprehended? Marion died at the beginning of H2O. Now, maybe the person who just happened to arrested Michael was related to her. It doesn't really say, and it doesn't really say when Michael was apprehended exactly. But Michael has been apprehended for some way, somehow. Um, Again, just another issue I've had with this. Um, this film, is it bad? Again, I'm going to get into that. It's okay. It's not horrible. It's not bad, but it could have been better. Um, so then you pick up in, well, Haddonfield, the hometown of everyone's favorite serial killer, Michael Myers, and you meet this Professor John Tate, who's teaching criminology, criminal psychology, whatever you want to say. And what's he discussing? Well, he's discussing the Halloween murders. Okay, John Tate, here's where I'll give credit. Yes, John Tate is not his mother in this movie, which is a good thing. John Tate, he's happy, he has a daughter, he has seen them move on from the events of 1998. Here's my issue with that. The first part I like. Okay, he, he, he chose to be a professor. He chose to move on with his life, have a family. Great. Then why in God's name would you move to Haddonfield? Like seriously, that's the part I have a problem here with. I get it's called the Haddonfield Nightmare, and that's part of the plot, but I think this film's plot is what hurts it overall because it just doesn't make any goddamn sense. If John Tate's happy or happy enough to move on with his life, then there's really no sense for him to move to Haddonfield. There just isn't. Um, I'd have preferred they sat this somewhere else, and you could have called it the Halloween Nightmare, or build a story around this professor who's teaching criminal psychology or criminology, whatever he was teaching. He was teaching about crime. Now, here's the thing: I would not have had him discussing the Halloween murders. There's a lot of other real life criminals out there he could have discussed. Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, hell, fucking D.B. Cooper you could have discussed. He was a terrorist, for fuck's sake. Um, Jack the Ripper, you could have discussed 1,000 things. Um, Hell, you could have discussed the real. If you wanted to do Halloween, you could have discussed the real life Candyman. Um, look it up. But no, they go the route of discussing the Halloween murders, and this is what John Tate does. John Tate tells his class that Michael Myers burned to death just like his mother told him. I feel like here's a guy who's a tale of two different entirely characters. This is another issue I have with this. Again, I gave this movie a fair rating. I've given it a 6 out of 10. It does have good things, but I'm going to point out the bad things first. If a character is going to teach criminology and he openly talks about the Halloween murders, he is John Tate himself. He did not change his, he didn't change his name. Professor Tate. He didn't just the name. Then why ignore 1998 totally? If you're sequeling H2O, why are you ignoring this in your story? The students did exactly what I was doing when I was watching this. They were calling bullshit on him about the summer glamour. Like, wait, there is a rumor now. They said rumor about the summer. Well, and they came up with the excuses. Well, there was never actually a DNA match to Michael Myers. Here's the thing of this. He was there in 1998. Why is he denying it? If he's literally moved on from this and is willing to accept things and live in Haddonfield, why not talk about it? And again, you don't have to live in Haddonfield. You don't have to talk about the Myers, the Halloween murders. You just don't. You could talk about a lot of other murders if you were gonna, play. I don't know what the hell they were doing with this, but it just felt like a character who they were conflicted with. There was too much for a character who was seemingly happy, and I mean, you see John Tate smile in this movie. Fuck, that's the most I've seen John Tate smile since I saw him with Michelle Williams. And Halloween didn't show, obviously. But anyway, it just like there's too much character confliction with this actual character. And then he starts he waits until bodies start dropping and gets accused of murder to say about Michael Myers. Now we're going to talk about Michael Myers. Okay. Again, why would you wait until then? It just, from a character standpoint, it seems like there were some good things about the character, but then there's things that just don't make sense. If you're going to write John Tate, if you're going to have him move on, he does not have to live in Haddonfield. He could live wherever you want to put him. Texas, California, Florida, Colorado, 1,000 states. Look, there's 50 states in the U.S. He could live anywhere. But no, they had him because the plot is the Haddonfield Nightmare. They have him live in Haddonfield, and it just felt like that hurt this story because a lot of it, there are things about the character of John Tate that just didn't make any real sense. So, by the way, I have another Halloween video coming right after this. Now to continue, I did like the kills in this. I thought they looked sleek and good. I love how Myers looked. The shots were I love the over the shoulder shot of Michael. The mask, I didn't mind the mask. I don't know, the front shots of Michael, the way sort of Michael walked, it didn't feel like I didn't get that James Jude sense, or even the sense of the OG Myers. I don't feel we got that Myers-esque feel from this Myers character. It felt like something was missing. Like there was like this unforeseen there. It's like there was this whole other presence missing about the Myers character in this story that I did not love. What did I like? I liked how they shot this. I liked the darkness. I liked the location. I liked how they again not Haddonfield, but I liked how the town looked. It looked like a Haddonfield. Um, they had the Myers house, and I'll say that loosely in this story, but and I didn't love that. I didn't love how again how that was done, but I love how the classroom looked. The classroom actually looked like a goddamn classroom. I actually did like the character of John Tate's daughter. That was really well done. She's like, Dad, why haven't you just moved on? You gotta move on from Michael. But here's the thing. I like her calling him out on that, but she also says he's undercover. Like, undercover from what? He's a college professor. He's not a cop. Um, is he? It seems like this character again is trying to be two different people with no real context of why you're being two different people. Why are you being two different people? We get why Carrie Tate was trying to be a different person. She was in hiding. And by the way, if you're in hiding or undercover, again, why are you living in Haddonfield? Again, that's my biggest issue with this story so far. It's just its overall plot. I felt at times too this movie got a little punny with the word Haddonfield Nightmare. My favorite character in this story, the cops. I actually did like the deputy in this story. I thought they were really interesting. I felt you could have built this story around them if you were just going to set it in Haddonfield. You didn't have, again, you don't have to have a pre existing character in the story. It's not bad if you do, but you don't have to have one. The ending's decent. It's not great. It's not awful. Overall, I give it a 6 out of 10. I just wish if you're going to have John Tate in your story, what is John Tate's actual purpose? A lot of people keep doing this with characters, even Hollywood. It's they want to have a shades of gray to the character. And I don't mind that, but you also have this character being happy. He seems happy. If you're happy, why are you living in Advent? Why are you teaching about crime? If you're happy and you're willing to move on, then why aren't you being honest with the events in itself when you're talking about them? And then you turn around and you want the cops to believe you when either A, you say you didn't kill anyone, and B, you now mention the name Michael Myers when bodies start. I just feel it's a character flaw. And the setting itself is a flaw for the overall plot. You could have just changed the title and moved this somewhere else and had John Tate just talk about the criminals. That's something you could have did. Um, Maybe he's just completely moved on from the whole thing. I could see that. Just just because somebody survives a horrific experience like an attempted murder, it doesn't mean it haunts them for the rest of their life. Sure, it could. Um, but again, John Tate, I do feel at times where John Tate isn't trying to be Laurie Strode, and that's great. He's trying to be John Tate, but there's times John Tate is trying to be this whole other person too, and it's like, who are you trying to be here? And again, that's my overall problem with this movie is the plot concept. Um, Again, it's not awful. I just wish it would have been better. So 6 out of 10. You guys have a good day. Link will be in the description box too. Go see this.